Most believers know the stories of Jesus' final days, but very few know the room where those stories unfolded. The upper room is not a side detail. It is the hidden stage of the new covenant. It is the room where the old covenant ended and the new covenant began. It is the room where fear lived, where faith was born, and where fire fell. And most Christians have never heard that all of this happened in the same place. This episode reveals the room God chose, and why He chose it. The story begins with a strange instruction from Jesus. A man carrying a water jar will meet you. In first-century Jerusalem, men didn't carry water jars, women did. This was a supernatural signal, a divine marker. Jesus was saying, I have already prepared the place. Peter and John followed the man through the crowded streets. He led them to a large, furnished upper room. The table was ready. The lamps were trimmed. The atmosphere was waiting. This room had been chosen long before the disciples ever saw it. As evening fell, Jesus and the 12 climbed the stairs. They entered the room unaware that this would be the most sacred night in history. The Passover meal began, but Jesus rose from the table. He wrapped a towel around his waist, the posture of a servant. The king knelt before fishermen and tax collectors. Water splashed against dusty feet as the Creator washed His creation. The room fell silent, heaven watched. Judas felt the tension of a divided heart. Jesus dipped the bread and handed it to him, a final act of mercy. Judas left into the night, and the atmosphere shifted. Jesus lifted the bread and broke it. This is my body, broken for you. He lifted the cup. This is my blood, the new covenant. The upper room became the birthplace of communion. Then Jesus began the longest, deepest teaching of His ministry. Let not your heart be troubled. I go to prepare a place for you. I will send the Helper. Abide in me. The upper room became a classroom of revelation. Jesus lifted His eyes and prayed, the prayer of John 17. He prayed for Himself, for His disciples, and for the future church. The upper room became the womb of intercession. Heaven leaned close as the Son spoke to the Father. When the prayer ended, they sang a hymn. Then they walked into the night toward Gethsemane. After the crucifixion, the disciples returned to the same room. The doors were locked, the windows shuttered. The upper room became a refuge for broken men. Then Jesus appeared, without knocking, without warning. Peace filled the room like a rushing wind. The upper room became a sanctuary of resurrection. 8 days later, Jesus returned again, for Thomas. Doubt dissolved at the touch of wounded hands. The upper room became a place of personal restoration. Over the next 40 days, the disciples kept returning to this room. It was their headquarters, their meeting place, their anchor. When Jesus ascended, they returned again, to wait. For 10 days they prayed, fasted, and prepared their hearts. The upper room became the womb of the church. On Pentecost morning, heaven broke open. A sound like a violent rushing wind filled the room. Tongues of fire rested on each of them. The church was born in the same room where the covenant was spoken. Thank you for spending this time in the Word with me today. If this teaching brought clarity, strength, or a deeper sense of awe for the story God is writing, I'm grateful you were here. If you learned something today, or if this episode helped you see Scripture in a new way, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to stay connected as we continue this journey through the upper room, Pentecost, and the unfolding story of the kingdom, tap the bell so you never miss an episode. Until we meet again, grace and peace to you, and may the same Spirit who filled that room fill your heart, your home, and your walk with Christ.